the news we took in the papers about the woman who allegedly set her husband ablaze in Osun State is an interesting one, because we've heard of these stories quite a number of times where lovers kill each other because of cheating or infidelity. Now, on the phone with us is the PRO of PRO in Osun State, PRO Yemisi Opalola. Good morning, madam. Are you there? Opalola, yes, PRO Yemisi Opalola. Thank you for joining us, madam.
Thank you for having me this morning.
So we took the story in the papers this morning, and it was quite alarming to find out that even the woman who allegedly killed this man had also died. Could you confirm this story for us, please, and tell us exactly what happened from your reports?
We have not been able to establish that.
Okay.
It's a rumor, yes.
Okay.
But we are still looking for her.
Oh.
Even this morning, we have decided to declare her wanted. Because the situation is that the story behind it is that immediately the parent that followed them to the hospital, UCH in Ibadan, where the man later died. Immediately they heard that the man died, they ran away. They were nowhere to be found. Even up to the time I'm talking now, in their house that is at that village where they live, there's nobody there at that house till now. Even the Kabiyesi, the king of that community, has even set silence on their house. That anybody that is seen around that house they are going to call the police to arrest one person. Till now, we have not seen anybody. We have mounted surveillance here and there to be able to arrest them. At least maybe through them,
right,
we will be able to get the real culprit.
Let's rewind a bit, madam. How did you discover this incident? What happened? Who came to you? Who alerted you? And how did you come about this story?
On that day, I think it was a neighbor. It was a neighbor that came to the police station at Iboku, because the place is under Iboku jurisdiction. The community is under Iboku, that is in Oboku local government area of Osun State. So the person now came to the police station to report that a woman locked her husband inside and set her ablaze. And set him ablaze. So when the police went there, but before we got to the place, the man has already been burnt to a point that it was so terrible. So the man was taken to the hospital, in Osogbo, that is called Osogbo Central Hospital. But when the people there knew that they cannot handle the matter, they transferred they make a referral of that person, the man. The man's name is Bolu Bamidele. The deceased, the victim, is Bolu Bamidele. So they referred him to UCH in Ibadan, where he later died the second day by 4 o'clock on the 18th, because the incident happened on the 17th of this month. And he gave up the ghost. He gave up the ghost on the 18th around 4 p.m. in the evening.
Okay.
And the resident where they live is called Koka. It's a the Koka community in the Bolu local government area.
Okay, let me get a few more questions for you, ma. Go ahead.
Ma, has his family members been involved in this in any way? At least you have a name. I'm wondering if they can also assist to get the family members of the girl, considering that they were married.
Yes, the family member of the deceased and the police, we are working together to ensure that we arrest anybody that is close, or to get anybody that is close or that is a family member of that woman. We are working together. Even throughout yesterday, we are still looking for them here and there. The DPO and his team were going about, even with the family member of the deceased. I mean, the family member of the man.
Family members cannot confirm. Our family members now can't confirm her death or supposed suicide as claimed.
The family member of the deceased did not confirm that.
No, I mean the suspect now.
We can't get any member of the family of the suspect.
PRO, let me confirm this because I want to be sure, because the law says everybody is innocent to proving guilty. So the victim himself confessed that it was his wife, or are we going by the testimony of the witnesses who said the wife locked up the husband and burnt him down? The victim, before he passed on, was able to confirm indeed that it was his wife that set the house ablaze?
Yes, it was the junior sister of the wife. The junior sister of the wife, according to the information, the junior sister of the wife was the one that called the parents of the deceased.
Okay.
This junior sister that was living with them.
Oh, we don't have a confession from the victim. Okay.
Yes, that called the family of the victim.
Right. Okay.
That come and see you. My sister has set ablaze her husband, and she's running away. She has run away. Please come here quickly. He was the one, the sister, sister,
all right,
blood sister of the woman.
All right.
And they said they got married about 1 year ago.
Thank you very much, PRO. We're going to keep monitoring this story because, as you said, the news out there all over is that she had committed suicide. But you're saying that's just a rumor. That you need to confirm that. So we'll continue to monitor the story. Yeah, that hasn't been established. So we'll continue to monitor the story to know exactly what happened. But we wish you all the best in this investigation. We're just going to break now. When we come back, move on to other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So before we move on to other stories, let's try to look at this situation a little bit further. Yes, we've heard from the PRO concerning this Osun State matter, but it brings back again the conversation concerning infidelity. I think Waike has said those things, crime of passion. You never know what you're going to do until you find yourself in that situation. We don't know the backstory. We don't know the sacrifices she's made to even maybe she was part of what got him to Cairo. You don't know what sacrifices she has done to feel that she was totally, completely betrayed. Now, that's us assuming that she's the one that did this. That I mean, as I was saying during the break, that we've watched too many crime movies in Hollywood to know that it could be anybody. Because if you ask me as an investigator, if I was an investigator, I would say that the girl that made the call might also be, she's a suspect.
Everybody will be questioned.
Everybody will be questioned because for you to even make that call to the police to your sister, are you a suspect? Did you have feelings for this man in the first place? Did you kill him? Did you do something to your sister? I would also arrest you. So there are so many angles to this story we don't even know yet, but we'll let the police do their work. But the truth is, crime of passion, that's what it's looking like right now. What are your thoughts on this? What is that thing? Should we begin to re-educate people? No matter what happens, you need to be able to hold yourself. How do you employ emotional intelligence in times like this? What do you think? How do you control yourself?
Crime of passion in Nigeria. Don't go.
Okay, crime, okay. Now,
For the French people.
There's no such thing.
Okay, please tell us.
Somebody
murder
for life.
Okay.
In the list, if they don't hang you, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Let all the experts talk about all this emotional intelligence, but if you not work, go. Life no end.
But if you sacrifice a lot and you invested a lot, because for you to...
Your mother sacrificed a lot, you left her to marry somebody else. Exactly. What kind of sacrifice can you sacrifice for somebody that is not enough for you to walk away from?
So
I don't get it.
The problem I see is we put our happiness in the lives of, like, we hand over our happiness. We hand over what makes us feel good about ourselves to somebody else. So within another person's control. So you're doing what you're doing because of what you are expecting from this person. And when that expectation does not happen, some of us have not learned the art of accepting it and moving on. We want to know, for what? Do you know what I've labored? Do you know what I've suffered? When we give people so much power over our lives, it doesn't work well for us, because that means everything that we go through, every emotion that we go through, every pain, every happiness, every joy we go through is dependent on that person's action. that is giving that person too much power over you. But the education now is that we begin to understand that if we're in a loving relationship, I will love you. And if it goes anyhow, I will adjust myself, work on myself, and I will move on. I will release you. I will allow you go free. True love is setting free, not even holding back. Because that thing that you feel is good for you today may not even be good for you in the future.
Way, to be as if you're not giving your whole. Because when you enter a relationship, people expect you to leave everything and you come to this person.
Please, may I quickly finish this? It's not about not giving you are giving your all. But it's safe for you to give that all because you want to, not because of what you think you would get back. What we do is we give it because we expect to get it back. When it doesn't come the way we expect, then we get in trouble. But if you give it, I'm loving you. I feel like loving you, and I'm feeling it in my bones, in my spirit. I want to love you. I'm giving you my all. Whatever happens, it's okay. Then it's better for us.
I mean, really important, to know these sides. You should know for the legal angle that there's no crime of passion in Nigeria. If you commit a murder, you're gone. And then it's good to also educate people on how to make happiness about yourself, that you create your own happiness. But the truth is, I was looking at their pictures. They're very young, the pictures of this couple. And I know how it is for young love. They said they're married 1 year. With women, they go into this is her Prince Charming. With all this expectation of Prince Charming to come and solve all her life's problems. For people who have been in marriages longer, will tell you that after a while, the scale starts dropping off your eyes. You're not realizing, he's not all that. But okay, then you start getting to the point, you'll be annoyed about the weaknesses. Then you start reaching a point where, okay, you now appreciate the strengths, and then you try and compromise, So that is a journey and a process through marriage. But unfortunately, she's truncated her own in the first year of marriage. The process of getting to understand that a man is not completely there. But also when you find yourself in a union like this, and they've done something so bad to you and you cannot handle it, please just walk out of that environment and go and meet someone and just be away from there. Because, yes, emotions can get the best of us. Anger can get the best of us. And then we'll do something we'll regret for the rest of our lives. And her is that she allowed her emotions to get the best of her. And now it's either she's committed suicide or, she's on the run forever. And it's important to that's why people will say to you, wait until you're a bit older, a bit more mature. Some of these things, some of life's issues, when they hit you when you're a bit older, there's a maturity that helps you maybe hold yourself a little bit. And if you cannot, just take yourself away from that situation in the heat of your emotions so you don't do anything when you're angry.
Okay, so that's an angle. My own angle, because I'm an investigator morale today, because, as I said, we watch a lot of crime investigations, and the words the police choose to use, or the words the reporters choose to use, carries a lot of weight, because that's how the crime is relayed to the people. So, yes, we have a man who's burnt, right? We have a building that's been burnt. We have a wife on the run. So there are ways you couch that. Allegedly on the run. There are ways to couch it. So the crime is somebody has been burnt, and unfortunately he has died. The house is burnt. We have suspects that we're looking for. Now, because the story, the way it's been put out now, we've already judged her that this woman is the one that killed her husband. There's a possibility that any other person could have done it. But we don't know, because the way the reportage has come out and the way the police has replied, you're already assuming. So this goes back to the Nigerian factor.
Not really.
In this situation. How we are so quick to, I'm just saying, we are so quick to judging something we have very little knowledge about. But we are judges. We have judged already.
I want to play investigator here. So, God forbid, that's a 1-year-old marriage situation, and husband is on fire, or house is on fire. It's your first African. I'm not going to be an NLP.
Yeah, this is not investigator.
Your first reaction should not be to travel. Did you travel? Did she travel?
But we don't know if she has run away.
No, wait now. Did she travel? She lost. We don't know.
Probably.
She could have traveled. She could have traveled. We don't know.
And she did not do help. She did not do that.
No, you don't know that.
You
for a
don't
fact.
Leave this
What
thing.
is it that
The husband was taken to a hospital and referred to a teaching hospital, and she did not show up.
Okay, so
she had run away, and she knows something.
Okay. So the investigation. Let me just add to her own. Abductions have been known to happen. They would have abducted her to make it look like her, and then after a while, we'll find her body. But let me tell you, even in the abroad that they do it, there is a process. They start from where they suspect everybody, and the first person they suspect is the wife.
It's a phone call herself.
You know? So this is the state that we're at. Right. But we are human beings, and our own is just to judge. That's what we're meant to do. And when we judge, our judge does not hold anything. Our judgment today or tomorrow, but it will end up in court and proper investigation. So I feel that this is the right way. First of all, you ask all those around the family, and then eventually when everybody's able to account for where they were and their alibis and blah, 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 then you move on to the next stage.
So if they were able to get a confession before he finally died. Because sometimes when somebody is in that kind of situation,
but
I know it's difficult. They may not have had access to him.
No, they may have. But the police also, I'm hoping that the police is not going to tell us everything. If there's another suspect on the run, they may not want to give us that information and tip off the suspect.
The painful thing is that, you know, somebody called for help and they met the husband alone in that situation. You know, we're taking a story in the paper where a young returnee from Scotland, Abby? Yes, Scotland, I think. She was a top shot somewhere in Scotland. She returned here with her brother, and they were burnt in the house by her husband. It's becoming like a style thing, you know. And the husband too left the house and went to court that there's fire in the house, but the fire that burned the whole house did not burn him. He was arrested and later confessed to that crime. So the way I see it, I just think that when you're in a relationship, come with a mindset that, you know, there are good times, there are bad times.
Yes.
You know, and prepare for bad times. Yes. Bad times could be that you wake up one morning.
You know, I think I've shared that story before. Somebody was telling me when I was getting married, and they said, think of all the things that your husband can do, and start beginning to think of the worst the deal breakers. Everything else on that list, the only one that I cannot forgive is incest. But everything from start to finish, write it out. I mean, this is what the answer told me. Write everything out. The only one that I cannot enter this is incest.
Okay, you were even asked to forgive. So what I did
is that begin to forgive your husband from now, even before you enter the marriage. Even before you even, start thinking about it. Process your worst case scenario. Begin to think about it and prepare your mind emotionally to prepare. Okay, this happens. This is how I'm going to handle it. So your mind is mentally prepared for the worst case scenario. Hopefully it doesn't happen.
How you handle it should involve a complex thinking. So this is the situation. What I didn't even have someone to talk to me. I just wrote down, because I didn't cut, that if this and this were to happen, I'll let this go. But this that I will not let go, I'll walk out.
Yes.
I told myself clearly. You see that divorce door, I left it open. Whenever this and this happen, this I can deal with. If I get this and this, maybe with time I'll deal with it. But the things I cannot deal with, the option is...
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we wrap up on this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So the crime that happened in Osun State is raising a lot of questions, especially concerning infidelity and young marriages, young people getting involved in marriage, and within a year, we're having situations where they're killing each other. So it's just a conversation surrounding how do we equip ourselves and how do we educate others to understand how to go through these stages in life. Because every marriage is a stage.
Come out sane.
They tell you first 5 years or so, then the next, then the 10 years, and then after that time, you should be settled. But let's come to the point of how do you prepare your mind for the worst case scenarios in marriage?
I don't prepare my mind for the worst case scenarios. I don't expect to have the worst case scenarios. I just expect to have life. And life can go either positive or negative. And even what we call negative is subject to our definition. At the time it's hurting, it's negative. But when you count it backwards, in hindsight, you realize that you may have just dodged the bullets. God may have just wanted to give you something better and bigger. But as it's happening, it's painful. And as human beings, you would experience that pain. But it was when I started working with people that I realized that a lot of us did not learn how to resolve conflicts. A lot of us don't know what to do when something painful happens to us. And that's because most of our parents did not take their time to groom us to understand that you must have disagreements. And having disagreements is healthy in any relationship, whether it's the colleague here, is the husband and wife here, and people will do things that you don't like. You know, we were raised to have our own laws in our mind and then expect every other person to obey those laws. And when they don't obey our own personal laws, we judge them, we hate them, we resent them, we fight them. Everything must work the way we have pictured it in our head. But that's not life. We are going to meet people from different strata of life with their own different laws. Imagine if I expect Miriam to act like me and she expects me to act like her all the time. We will fight. We must fight because our perspectives are different. Our experiences are different. And when you're getting into a relationship, you should go with that mindset. You are coming from a totally different background. They have been, they have raised that young man. Maybe he married at 30 or even at 20-something. All his life, he has seen a pattern. His parents, his siblings, his family members, they have a pattern. Right. You have a different pattern. You're coming together, you must clash. But because we have not been equipped, we don't equip our children with how to talk about things, not take things too personal, and only sacrifice what you really want to sacrifice. When I was getting into marriage, I told myself, if I don't feel like doing it, I will not do it. Because if I do it because I want to please, I want them to like BC, I will now go the extra mile, I will do this, I'll do that. If tomorrow he breaks my heart, I'm lamenting because I did some things because of what I expected to get, not because I really wanted to do it. When you really want to do something and you do it, however it goes, you will just pack up your bag and say, well, it didn't work out for me like that, and move on. But we need to learn how to resolve conflict because we'll have it. And this also comes from a place of not being able to handle our emotions in such a way that a lot of us are very angry people. Especially in this country, we are really angry people. And we have not understood that it's not the situation that makes us angry. It's the way we are processing the energy in us. Because somebody could have been cheated on and did not decide to burn the husband. You two of you went through the same process, but you went to burn your own. And the other person just packed her bags and left.
All right. Let me come to you, Mariam, because people react different ways. People have different exposures. You know, people are raised differently. What worked for me may not work for you. So I was given that opportunity to think of the worst case, but unfortunately that can't happen today because the worst case scenario, you using your wife as a ritual for a ritual. There are different things. The scenarios are different. So you can't tell somebody think of the worst case because they don't know what the worst case scenario will be in future. So you cannot use that same model. So how can you find a balance to help to equip a young person on knowing what to do in this kind of situations?
Yes, it's good that you also mentioned that list that you make of the worst case scenario. And if someone were to prepare their minds, you know, how they would react when the things on the list happen, do we prepare them for what is not on the list? You know, so
exactly.
So it's important that I like where BC comes from, where it's important that we understand how to resolve conflict. We also need to understand that we need to be kind and to love ourselves enough to take ourselves out of a toxic relationship. Your question is how do we teach people, or you know, how to handle things when things happen? It's just there's not much we can say apart from what we've always said. You just take yourself out. You tell people the different stories over and over again, and then you hope that they listen. I know sometimes it seems like it's easier to say, oh, you have all these expectations. But the truth is that when people go into marriage, the reason why people take the time to pick a partner is because they understand that they have strengths and they have weaknesses and they're looking for someone that can complement them. They are also hoping that this marriage is a union of friends. That's, you know, there's friendship in it, there's love, there's mutual respect. And so I can understand how someone finds themselves in a union where they're saying, okay, I finally met this person after taking my time that has maybe the same values as I do and is willing to be mutually, you know, respectful. And then the person does everything against, you know, what you have set down. But the only thing I can say to someone like that is just move out. And this is not just for women, even for men. Because we know that men suffer abuse. We have seen in his own case where he has passed on. I know we want to put investigative care on what may have provoked it, but men also suffer abuse. And it's sad in their cases because most times men don't speak up when they are going through their abuse. So we also need to teach men to be confident enough, to love themselves enough, not to be swayed by what people will say that, oh, a woman did this to you, and take a walk to save your sanity and take yourself out of a toxic situation.
Let me take this call. Take a few comments on social media, then we wrap up on this. Good morning, Solomon. Are you there from Berger?
Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yes, how is everybody doing? How's everybody night?
Fine.
Okay, about this marriage issue that happened, the case that happened in Osun State.
Yes.
The main issue about this is everybody has different opinion on how to handle situation.
Go ahead, Solomon.
To my own opinion, to this issue, the main aspect that the husband does not stay in Nigeria yet. He stays in Cairo. And to what I know about this man was that the wife knew earlier that the man has a baby on. Then she continued with the marriage. And before the situation of owning the house and the husband,
Solomon, okay, we're having trouble listening, but you're trying to give us establish what happened. Go ahead.
Okay, so Eddie Jinx says she's the #1 person of interest. There was motive. There's an Instagram post of a premeditated murder from her, but we can't rule out thorough investigation. Let this not be a case of how to get away with murder. Bekiz Morenike says, lying Sharon, she must be insane or possessed, or both even. No matter what happened, take a walk if you can't cope. You can't go around setting a human being ablaze because your relationship went sour, not be by force now. So for me, this is what bothers me. If you had a fight with someone and all you can think of is, I would kill you, I would set you ablaze, I would murder you, you know? And even let's just even assume that he came and said, okay, I had a secret marriage before I married you, and I have 4 children. And I want to go back to my first wife. Oh. Is it fire that will get you justice? I don't get it. I don't understand it. Is it that the least informed person knows that the consequence for that kind of reaction is possible murder? You must have that foresight to think that if I put someone on fire, he might not make it. If I send him in, and if he dies, I might die as well. At least that's a common sense thinking.
But you're not thinking rationally.
Exactly. Why will you not be rational? If you're not a rational person, why are you in a relationship?
No, it happens.
Okay. Wait, you see this thing? It's movie.
No, it's not movie.
Because we think that when we are in love, is the way it's used to do it giz in the movies. That's how it has to be in real life.
In real life at all.
That's not how it happens in real life. In real life, you might still even cook food for the person that is provoking you in the marriage.
Now
and you cook food for his children, and you people will eat and you will sleep and you wake up and you are still upset.
Heaven will not fall.
Yes, heaven will not fall. Okay. And you show up at a family event, and the person that is married to you is annoying, is provoking you, and you smile at the family, and you greet all your in-laws, and you'll be happy. And you go home, and you still upset.
Okay. Please, I'll come to you, Mara. Let me take Ijoma first. Ijoma is holding, calm down. Ijoma, are you there?
I have to kill him. He's looking shocked like this girl serious.
You're live, Ijoma. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to everyone.
I can hardly hear you, Ijoma.
Volume.
Ijoma, please speak up. Hello, Ijoma.
Can you hear me? Hello. I said I'm the first time caller.
As I'm on the show, we're still
struggling.
Okay, so I've been trying for yesterday your show. So it's nice to be here. I just wanted to contribute to the topic for today.
Yes.
In regards to infidelity, I mean, it shouldn't get to the point where people don't respect other people's lives. You should be able to respect people's opinion.
Ijoma.
So sorry.
Oh, our phone lines.
Wait, calm down. I want to quickly complete this. Remember when we were growing up, when you watch movie and husband and wife are fighting, somebody who does be screaming inside the movie as if in real life. That's how you just scream.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
No problem. I understand where they're coming from, and it's good. We need to teach people how to handle things. So it's coming from a place of love, but it's not coming from a place of reality.
No,
this is what you're saying. You're not coming from a place of reality, because there are many people who will tell you today that they found themselves in situations just because of anger. And when the haze of the anger cleared, they regretted. And they could not for themselves understand why they could not bring, you know, logic and sanity and rationality at the point that they did. Everybody knows that there's that thing that happens when you allow your emotions just cloud you. It's emotions clouding.
Short-time madness.
Emotions clouding your reasoning is a phrase.
It's something that happens.
Because it happens.
Yeah. Yes.
So I understand where you're coming from, but this is the truth. And there are two ways to handle this. We start talking to our children. We start talking to each other about how to resolve issues. Yeah. When you find yourself in a situation where you can't handle, you walk away. We talk to those who are going on for marriage counseling, even for friendships, because there's some people who have destroyed lifelong friendships just because they were just so angry and they said horrible things to a fellow friend. I'm talking girlfriends and boyfriends. I'm not even talking marriage. It happens. Absolutely. We need to teach people how to speak, how to express themselves respectfully when they find themselves in a toxic situation. We need to talk about.
This issue that
you and I have examples of that.
And model.
Thank you. They are different.
Two separate things.
Come back, we'll be right back. We'll go finish this topic.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing this issue of anger management, especially in marriage. And I think you said this goes back to how we raise our children. You're going to add to this.
Yes, I wanted to say that there is no one standard reality for everybody.
Yeah.
We all have our different realities. The way something will happen and you decide to walk away is the way something will happen and another person decides to handle it, straight on. And another person decides to fight it out with the fist. Another person decides to drag the matter for a very long time. Another person decides to sit down and plot revenge for years. Only one little thing. It just depends on how we have been brought up. Exactly. The environment that has nurtured us. Exactly. And that is why when you see people who are not able to handle their emotions, people who are easily irritated, they get angry, they burst out, they lash out, we don't call them normal. Those are the people that need help. Because the truth is, for you to react in such a way for something that has happened means that you are dealing with some internal issues that we need to look in. But we are not that aware to begin to handle it. I remember there was a time I had this stepmother who my father would annoy. And I'll come back from school. The whole house, she has destroyed it. She has broken TV. She has broken chair. She has, in her anger, when that anger comes, we knew she was not normal. No normal human being, no matter what the person has done to you. Worst case scenario, carry your bag and go. So after breaking all those things, you now come back and go and cook. That's madness. But we need to start calling it out for what it is. And start teaching, like she mentioned, our children, restraint. No matter the emotion, you have control. You can instill that control over emotions. Do you know one of the reasons I don't, most times, when I remember, I don't react when I am upset. Like, I don't speak when I'm really upset. I keep quiet when I'm really upset. You know why? Because I don't want to be in a situation where I cannot control what I say. And words are like eggs. Once you break it, you can't take it back. So because I got to that point of awareness where I can keep quiet and bottle it in till we are ready to have a conversation, everybody needs to take responsibility for how they decide to show their madness in the public. Anger is different from plotting to kill somebody. They are two different evils.
But this doesn't look like a plot. It looks like something that just happened.
The same thing. But pour kerosene, he pour fuel.
You open gas.
He pour kerosene, he pour fuel.
No, by the time you were carrying
you never calm down.
You never stick up. You light her.
You never
the house they burn. You know,
Let
mistake.
me take this cup of Ayo.
It's premeditated.
I beg.
Ayo, are you there from the UK? Good morning. Thanks for calling. Hello. I think our phone lines have issues today. Hello, Ayo, are you there?
I wish they didn't.
You know, I've always said this story. I'll come to you, Nima. I've always said this story how, but both of my husband and I were different. You know, in my own house, growing up, you could almost hear a pin drop, like there was quietness.
Calm.
When my mom comes home, she just takes her dinner, goes upstairs. If my dad is angry with you, he calls you into the room, you have a conversation, he's asking you questions. So what do you think while you're doing that? Well, you know, you're discussing it.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, you now have a reason why you did it and why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
My husband came up with a totally different scenario. Because, I mean, the way he talks and shouts, and I'm like, calm down. Because the kids are here, seeing the man, every small thing, he's shouting. He even knows to greet each other. How you doing? How's today? What did you say?
He has so much energy.
Like, he's constantly, I'm like, must you shout? Like, So I have that conflict. Now, a child gets angry, and she's exerting anger, hitting her brother, hitting. I'm thinking, you don't have to hit. What exactly did he do to deserve to be hit? But they see that. So as we're raising our children on how to be emotionally strong in times when people provoke you, how do you bring those two together, Madam Therapist? How do you raise children in a home where they see, we can talk about this. You don't have to make noise about it.
In fact, we cannot say we don't see those happen. I have 2 children. Yeah. Yesterday, my neighbor's son was stoning my chicken on her eggs. I ran downstairs to scare the
Stoning
child.
the chicken?
On her eggs. The chicken is
laying eggs already.
And so he will go into the cage and stone the chicken. I ran downstairs to go and scare the boy. My son saw me coming and held me. But my daughter pushed me. Catch him. So you see two children of the same parents differently. So I'm looking at my daughter saying, I told her this holiday, she's 2 weeks camping at an emotional intelligence training with Brainy Educate. I don't care what is happening. Because I see this as a defense. This is how she was made. But I want her to be able to control it. Yes. I don't want to take it away. So she has to go there. But the boy that is even timid himself, he has to go and learn taekwondo. Because, you know, we're trying to balance things. Yes, true. So there are 2 different things. When a person angers you, you abuse me, I will not agree. You do that. And that's it. That's anger. Or you talk fast, you do. But when you say,
you carry cup,
I will show you. And you're still angry more than an hour. Or a fleeting moment. 2 days, you're still angry. You are now cooking the idea. When you come back, I will fire him. To kill somebody,
I disagree with you.
See, when you're angry and you take a cup, what you did not premeditate is how dare you, and you throw something in. But by the time you cook fire, you cook fire.
Let it brew.
You did not use. It was not candle that started the fire.
How do you know?
I'm saying
they pour kerosene.
They say they use kerosene. I'm saying that candle that starts fire did not fall on the paper and burn cotton.
Let me tell
you. As in, you were not in that fire. You cook it. You pour something, brew the fire, and you watch it, and you know there's a living thing inside.
Let me take this call from
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim, are you there? Thanks for calling.
This one is wickedness.
You're live. Go ahead, please, Ibrahim, from Ilorin.
Yeah, so basically, on this issue, it's really sad that a lady could, that a human being could do this to their partner. I believe there are certain things that the person that she would have done that wouldn't have led to this. For instance, like they would have understood each other long before they even got married. Let the husband know the kind of things she likes, the kind of things she doesn't like. Another thing is that when he told her this or when she found out, go outside and talk to reasonable people about it. Don't just talk to any riffraff, talk to reasonable people who will reason with you about it. Another thing is that you would have talked to him as well. How do you iron this thing out? And just kindly walk away from the issue if you cannot take it anymore.
Right.
If not, if it's something that you guys can convey, because look at this popular actor, this evil actor that had another lady, and he had children she had a son for him. Only God knows how he's handling that situation. And the wife didn't react the way this one is reacting. So I believe everybody needs to be matured. And I really enjoy the way your people have
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. So let's go, Mariam.
Yes, I was just going to make an example. I understand where they are coming from. There's outbursts. And for me, I can, if we're in court and we're trying to argue the case, they would want to determine if this was an outburst or a crime of passion. That's Oyinbo land. But, so for me, I would think this is an outburst. Just turn the lights on or fire and then it goes off. I've seen places, I've heard of, we've watched, of women who have poisoned their husbands over months.
Yeah.
That's not anger now.
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you. There's a difference. Yeah. So I'm saying that... that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that this woman's behavior comes across as an outburst to me.
No. If you follow the story...
Now, let me finish my own. I'm not talking. Thank you very much. You have said yours. And I have seen cases where people take time and sit down and deliberate on how they are going to do it and cause all sorts of distractions so that you don't see it. There's a difference. And we have people like that. Even amongst friends, you have someone who you have a disagreement. One tells you immediately, I don't like the way that you behave to me, in a respectful tone, blah, blah, blah. And the other person goes, it's fine. But everything she does from that day on will be to find ways to sabotage you, to make sure everything falls apart for you. So yes, there are two different things. But in the end, especially concerning this conversation, we just need to do better with anger management and learn to leave toxic situations. And that's why you cannot call out people who live toxic marriages and be calling them all sorts of names. Because you cannot on the one hand say to them, leave a bad relationship, and then when they do, you call them names for doing that.
I have a dictionary something here. You know, Miriam is the efiko in our midst. Outburst means a sudden release of strong emotion, a sudden occurrence of a particular activity. The word here to highlight is sudden. When we read this story, they had this issue for weeks. Hold on. We're trying to buttress our point that this is premeditated. So we had this. Wait, hold on first. So they had weeks when she found out, and the sister was trying to solve the matter, calling neighbors, calling family members to come and intervene in the matter. The anger had started brewing from when she found out. It took her weeks to carry out this act. There's nothing sudden about this. No, I'm just telling you based on the facts that... Based on the facts. Please give me high five from that side, Jenny. Thank you. Based on the evidence presented before us on this table. Yeah. But let me add... Okay, go ahead.
Because it's important. We have to wrap up on this. But I think in a nutshell, we're all right in different ways. This is still... investigation is ongoing. But what we're trying to talk about is anger management.
Yes, how to control.
We're talking about deal breakers. What are your deal breakers? Know your deal breakers. And know and prepare for them worst case scenario. I mean, but also be emotionally strong. Let's raise our children to be emotionally strong because they'll be facing different things in life. They must be able to say, walk away, don't have any, even if you have a sudden outburst, not to the point where you kill somebody. So no matter how you do murder can't be premeditated.
Yeah.
So
Mariah, the scripture says, be angry and do not sin.
Yes.
There's a difference.
Anger different from
yes, now from sin. This one has sin.
So we continue to hope that these people will learn from these experiences.